Imagine a war where you can give some instruction to your AI and that will fulfill your desiring need, such as creating a website, hosting it in a specific bucket, and make it public with a further knowledge, be able to monitor and to see what are the other buckets in your system that are open and that can be exposed and compromise your system. Just by simply writing some queries with natural language processing, to see, by speaking to your LLM model, you'll be able to send some instruction and perform some tasks. In this specific video, what we are going to learn is how a MaginQ custom plugin can be used to build a chatbot that can interact with multiple APIs via a user natural language prompt. Stay tuned and let's have some fun. Let's follow this deployment instruction. As the first instruction, we need to clone our repository, and for that, we use this command. Then we enter in the directory. Then we are able to deploy using this command. As you can see, I already have the repository clone locally. So, if I do ls, I can see that I have all the directories. By that, image that is there. I have the source directory that is here. I also have the template.yml that will contain all the related instruction that will help us to connect to the Lambda functions and as well as to design our plugin. At the line 255, we have the plugin, that is QBusiness plugin. And this one will help us to interact with our lambdas. By that, this one will help us to interact with our model in such a way that we are going to send some specific instruction and be able to get some answer. For instance, close a specific poll on EC2 instance, so that will be the summary of the task. This specific instruction will help us to close a specific poll on EC2 instance. Then later on, we have as well other instruction. There, find EC2 with specific open poll. As you can see, we always have its clear description and that can be used to interact, and that we follow the Open API convention. Let's go back to the preview. We have this specific instruction, deploy. So what we are going to do with the profile, my profile, the one that I'm using on my PC, okay, we have the tags, the stack name, that will be in fact the cloud formation, how we be good deploy. We have the US East 1 region. We are going to use the identity center, as remember that is the prerequisite. So we need to have an identity center session, an instance in fact, and we need to have the ID of that instance. So it's already there. So I will tap enter. Then we need to confirm. Let's make it bigger. We need to confirm by clicking no, okay? No, why? Because I don't want to always say yes here. Yes? So better right now. I lose some CLI perform. Yeah, I won't. I will let it create some role. Okay. Disable all back. No. Okay. Find S3. Okay. Then I can put yes. Okay. Save argument to configuration file. Yep. Then just follow. We tap enter. We press enter. And we can see that the deployment is going on. Let's wait some time. And let's go to the AWS console to see what is going on behind the scene. On the AWS console, we can go to the search bar. We are going to type AWS Cloud Formation. Let's click on it. We can clearly see that we have AI apps there. Let's click on it Let's scroll down. We see create complete. But what would be useful is to go to Amazon Q. Amazon Q business. Rather, uncheck if we have an application already deployed. Here we go. We have an application here. And we have the URL to connect to the application. But before that, let's explore what are the different parameters that are already filling in the configuration. So if you scroll down a little bit, we have the user access. That's really important. We need to make sure that we can have some user that will be able to interact with our deployment. Why do I see that? Because if I click on deployment URL, I will see that the deployment really happened, but I cannot get access. Why? Because it's forbidden. Please check your permission and try again. So for that, I need to make sure that I will have some user. So I click on Manage User Access. I will add user group, a user instruct. I will go to existing user. Why? Because if you remember, we needed to do it in the Identity Center. That was the prerequisite. So in Identity Center, we have to make sure that we already have a user. So when I click on Next, I will look for the user, Amazon, maybe test. Yeah, here we go. You have a specific user. Let's click on it and let's assign the user. Perfect. And there will be a current subscription, which is Q Business Pro. Later on, we are going to click on Confirm. But I would like to show you as well the Identity Center. I am Identity Center. So if we go to Identity Center, let's call. Let's look for user. We can see that we have that user. The test Amazon Q is enable the MFA authentication, but that was required is set. Okay, let's go back to Amazon Q. Amazon Q, this is just there. We can either click on here, just click here, or we can directly type again, or we can type again Amazon Q. Q for business, okay, of course. Scroll down to AI Ops. And see the user, click on Manage User. Situation, add group and user. Let's go back to Assign Existing. Let's look for the user. We click Test. We type Test. Okay, here we go. Assign. Perfect. And we confirm. Great. You have our user that is set. And we have the custom web experience. That's here. We later on need to check if we already have access. I click on the rail, of course, and we click on Decline. We see that loading Amazon Q. There is something else that we need to do on the console. So let's go back to the interface. Let's go. Just there. Okay. Let's look for admin, control, and guardrail. Very nice. Let's scroll down. We have global controller. Let's click on edit. We have to make sure that we are able to access or to send query directly to the LLM. And for that, we need to click on this CP simple box. Click on this box. Then click on Save. Let's go back to IOPS. There, or let's go just there by clicking here. Okay, let's scroll down. We have deploy URL. Let's click in on it. Perfect. Here we go. We are reading Amazon Q apps. Then what we can do? Either we can create an Amazon Q. That's not what we want to do right now because we already have the apps. So let's close it. let's assume that we want to check if you have S3 buckets that are publicly accessible. So for that, we can type list all buckets that are publicly accessible. Let's type enter. We have a response from our chatbot. And it's written that the chatbot is not yet able to have a look into our bucket, but the chatbot is able to give an alternative way. So we can do it by ourselves, by following the instruction that have been given by the chatbot. But that's not what we want. We want our chatbot to do that specific task. So for that, don't forget we have a plugin. So if I click on plugin, AI Ops Custom, perfect. And I type again the same command. The response will be different. Why? Because now the chatbot has access to our account and able to list down the bucket. So let's assume that we know already the prefix of some bucket. So we type test, for instance, I click on submit. It will go through my buckets by typing, for instance, AWS S3LS, then do some check based on the response to see if the bucket are public or not. You see the response is different. Whereas if I go to S3, I type Amazon S3, okay, I open this bucket, for instance, this one, and I make it publicly available. Let's go to permissions. I click on edit, okay, and I save confirm, okay. Click on confirm, perfect. Now it's publicly available. So there's no restriction. If I go back to my chatbot, I copy, remember, the same request. I click on execute. It will process. It will ask me to give a bucket prefix to narrow the search. I will say test, for instance. I click on submit. Here we go. You see? So it's so on a public IP, it's so a bucket that is publicly available. So that's the thing. We just want to resolve the matter right away. And for that, we just say please block the public access. Here we go. If you want to confirm, is it really that bucket that you mentioned? Is the bucket? Do you talk about, you want to clarify if the bucket that on which I want to pay for the action is specifically this one. I say, I just have to submit to confirm. Here we go. It's done. So we can go to the bucket and make sure to confirm. Let's refresh. And see, you can see everything is blocked. Perfect. C-box. It's able to go to my S3 bucket and change the permissions. So our agent works perfectly fine. That's it for now. We can extend this user case to make it more powerful. And why not host the website for us? Don't forget to clean up your resources. And for that, you need to type some delete or to press enter. It will try to confirm if you want to perform the action in US East 1 region. Press enter and press yes. Are you sure that you want to delete the folder? Of course. Here we go. Everything will be deleted. Hey, show me some love by hitting the subscribe button. Click on the like, and why not writing the comment. Thanks, and bye for now.